A very good morning to Kenyan citizens. Welcome, and this is the Current Affairs segment, your trusted source for the latest news, insightful discussions, and impactful stories shaping our nation and beyond. I'm Angela Kabete, and together with Muchai Eric, we'll dive into the latest news and uncover the truth behind what has been happening that is in our country and beyond. So make sure that you stay tuned as we break it down right here, right now. Muchai Eric, good morning.
Good morning too.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Wiki inakupeleka aje?
Inanipeleka vizuri. We are almost at the end of January.
Yeah.
And we thank God because of that grace. Yeah.
Salimia watazamaji.
It's a very good morning to you, all our viewers. Nawakaribisha katika kipindi hiki cha the NURU morning show, where we will dive into conversation that is happening in our nation and beyond. You can still follow us through all our social media platforms at Mizpah TV Kenya, and also you can send us an SMS and your feedback on 0799 200 100, and we keep the conversation going.
Yeah, but before anything else, it is always an honor to give you that is the verse of the day, an encouragement for you as a viewer. And today's verse comes from, that is Colossians 3:23 to 24, and I read, this is what it says: whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you're serving. Interesting. So, inaanza kwa kusema whatever you do, in everything, at work, ministry, friendships, relationships, and everything, whatever you do, work with all your heart. So it means that you need to do everything wholeheartedly. In everything that you do as Christians and as believers, do it perfectly, give it all your best. And inaendelea kwa kusema work with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for the human masters. Now let's bring in that aspect. The real audience here is God. People may not notice what you're doing. People may not notice the things that you're doing, the struggles that you're going through, so that you can do what you're doing. But inatuambia people may inatuambia they work as if you work as working for the Lord, not for the human masters, because God sees everything that you do each and every day as Christians. And it continues and says, since you know you will receive an inheritance from the Lord. However, it is a clarity, it is a confirmation that your reward comes from God, not people, not men, not human beings, not your friends, okay, not your job masters, but your reward comes from God. Human may delay. Leo utanifanyia kitu, tomorrow I don't recall what you did, I will fail to say thank you. But the verse of today, it's reminding us that God never forgets to reward us for what we do, because don't forget the promises that He has written in the Bible. Each and every day we see them being manifested in our lives as Christians and as believers. Alafu inamalizia kwa kusema from the Lord as a reward, it is the Lord Christ you're serving. Kwa hivyo service, it means that work, when you do everything knowing that you're doing it for God, it means now that is not just a normal work. Even where you have been employed in, let's say, your cousin, now work becomes worship. Why? In what you're doing, you are glorifying God, and that's how you get to receive, that is a reward and an inheritance from God. And now this was Paul speaking to people and servants, and he was reminding them their identity was not worth, okay, but God is the one who matters in everything. And it means that excellence is a spiritual discipline, even if that is people may fail to see. What's your take on this, Muchai?
Yeah, as the verse has said in Colossians chapter 3 verse 23, that whatever we do, we should do it with the whole of our heart. That wakati ambapo unafanya jambo, it is very good ni kufanya as if you're doing it for Christ. Na when you do something with the whole of your heart, it is always, you do it in perfection. Ni kwa sababu imetoka ndani yako. But when you do something because you're being forced, it is always that utafanya without achieving the goal ambayo the one that has given you that job will have wanted you to achieve. So I think whatever you do when you're serving people, as katika kitabu cha Mark chapter 10 verse 45 says that the Son of Man did not come to be served, but he came to serve. So when you serve and when you work something out of your heart, it is always something that you will always do it in perfection. Yeah.
And that is the verse of the day. Now let's get over to what has been happening, because each and every day there are new stories, and it is our responsibility to making sure that you as a Kenyan citizen out there stay updated of what is happening. But I can't forget, this show is proudly brought to you by Mizpah Prayer Center, and this is a great place for prayer, fasting, and spiritual renewal. Mizpah Prayer Center is located in Bahati, Nakuru, 14 kilometers from the Nakuru city, on your way to Nyahururu and Nyeri. It is open to individuals, ministry teams, and different prayer groups from all denominations. For more information, please contact 07-277 66553. And now let's get over to what has been happening. I have the Daily Nation with me.
I have the Standard.
And on today's Daily Nation, these are some of the matters of what we'll be checking out. Tutaangalia matters to do with politics, and then tutaangalia matters to do with legal and crime, and then we'll be checking out matters to do with the education sector and the crisis in the health sector. What about you?
In this newspaper of the Standard, we are going to deal with matters of judiciary, and also we are going to see matters in politics, ODM party, and also we are going to deal with matters about how we keep our money.
All right.
Yes.
And now let's start with the Daily Nation. That is page 1. As I said, we're going to check that is the crisis, what has been happening when it comes to the health sector and the education sector as well, because you can agree with me, the health sector, now the education sector has been on the spotlight for the whole of January. Lakini when it comes to shame, we call the spotlight since it was brought to us. And now that is page 1 of the Daily Nation. The main headline reads, Ogamba and Duale. You know, Ogamba ni the Cabinet Secretary of Education, and that is Duale, the CS that is Health, under fire over schools and shark crisis. A lot has been happening, and unajua mzigo imekuwa ikiangukia the patients, na pia when it comes to the area ya schooling, wazazi ni wao wanaangukiwa na mzigo as well. And now I can see pictures zao zimeweka hapa. I don't know, they look that like what I'm getting here, they're deep thinking. And it reads, MPs prized Cabinet Secretaries Julius Ogamba and Aden Duale on funding to schools and controversial hiring of the Social Health Authority. The forum also told the government does not know the cost of educating a child in the public school system. So I really don't know this statement. Yeah, they don't know the cost of educating a student in university, what it really means. I don't know if this is just figures of speech or this is just words that they're giving out, because they're supposed to know. And you know, when it comes to that is the health sector, when it comes to the education sector, a lot has been happening, especially, you know, we have transitioned that is to the competency based curriculum. A lot has been happening when it comes to the enrollment. Some tumeona complaints that is uneven placement, and then when it comes to proposal of schools closure that kind of issues. That is delay in this in allocation of funds kwa mashule, textbooks. Tuliona that is Julius Ogamba akisema we give them 2 weeks, vitabu zitakuwa zimefika kwa mashule, and you wonder what were they doing the whole of December? They could have done that at the 1st of January. Tumeona a lot has been happening. Tuliona also a report was released when it comes to the education sector. Finances are supposed to be released by 15th, but tunaona today is 29th, but still some schools principals and teachers, they are complaining pesa hazijafika mashuleni. So a lot has been happening when it comes to that is the schools. Tumeona that is pia when it comes to transitioning of grade that is in grade 10 enrollment. A lot of parents wamekuwa struggle na mambo ya kulipa fees to a point they're saying now wanafunzi wende shule bila uniform. I don't know how the school would look like, but I don't know if kama ni pesa hatuna. And now let's head over to page 7 because it's written here. The story is on page 7 of the Daily Nation, and we are there. Let me start with the education sector, and it reads, Ogamba, that is the CS of education. We do not know the cost of educating a child to university. So what did he mean by this statement? Probably could go back and explain again. And then there is a figure here that reads 22,000, the annual amount of capitation for a learner in senior school, according to Ministry of Education. Now, that is the annual amount of capitation. It's supposed to be 22,000. But what is happening on ground? These are just figures that they're giving. Now we ask yourself the reality versus what they're saying. And the Cabinet Secretary says no actuarial study has been initiated on the cost of educating a learner in Kenya. Well, these are statements from the CS of Education, that is Julius Ogamba. And Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Ogamba yesterday ran into trouble with MPs who responded to queries on the state of schooling in Kenya. And Mr. Ogamba surprised all when he said the ministry does not know how much it costs to educate a child to tertiary institutions. Well, I don't know, it feels like irresponsibility, Eric, because, you know, he is a leader in that department, in that when it comes to the world of education. So if he doesn't know, but see, it means that when it comes to allocation of funds, and then it means when the students or the parents are complaining pesa hajafika mashuleni, that's why tunaona kumekuwa na delay in capitation of schools. So we can say that's why tunaona kumekuwa na less underfunding when it comes to school, because if the leader himself doesn't know, what do you expect? Do you expect the rest of the people to know? But anyway, that is what is happening when it comes to the world of education. And then it comes to the health sector, because we said these are the crises happening in the health sector and the education. When it comes to the the health sector, the key thing in imekuwa highlighted, that is SHA. SHA is facing a lot of things, because don't forget yesterday tuliona that kulikuwa na fraud case that was revealed, 11 billion. Hii pesa ingetumika kununua madawa, hii pesa ingetumika kununua vitanda za hospitali. A lot could have been done with this money. Yet pesa zinaendelea kuenda kwa, I don't know, kwa mifuko ya, I don't know how to call these people, but it reads, the key thing here, it reads Duale fights off nepotism and tribalism claims in SHA hiring. So according to him, he believes this is not true, because the Daily Nation reads that Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale has dismissed reports on tribalism and nepotism in recruitment at the Social Health Authority while he was addressing people and addressing MPs during the going legislative retreat in Naivasha, Nakuru County. Mr. Duale said hiring at SHA is strictly on merit. So according to him, there is no corruption when it comes to the SHA system. But what is happening on ground? Because again, let's go back to what they're saying versus the reality. SHA has been facing corruption, delay in allocation of funds, bribery, a lot of things. The system itself is staggering. Patients wanaumia huku nje, false claims, you're inpatient, outpatient. So there's a lot to be done when it comes to the education sector and the health sector, because you know these are key factors when it comes to our country and economy as well. So that is what has been happening. What about you? What do you have there?
In the newspaper, The Standard, the headline that has been written here says, shaming judiciary. Yesterday there was swearing in of some judges at State House, and ilileta mambo mingi kwamba ilizua mchemko katika mitandao ya kijamii ya kwamba the government is trying to manipulate the judiciary, and many of Kenyans were giving their opinions that the government, the executive, is trying to manipulate the judiciary. And in this newspaper today, the Standard, the Standard says the independence of the judiciary is facing credibility test as allegations of partisan conduct engulf sitting Judicial Service commissioners. With High Court interviews days away, critics warn the political colors have been smuggled into the institution to be meant to blind to power. You know, the judiciary, we have three arms of government. We have the executive, we have the legislature, and we have the judiciary. So the judiciary, the biggest role of the judiciary is to uphold the role, to uphold the rule of law. So when we see some issues emerging from the judiciary, it is something that is making us to be worried as we are almost going to election. We want, the writer here explains that the judiciary is facing a headache because there are some people that were appointed in the judiciary ambao wanaonekana it was something that was political. So we are going to get this story in page 4, and where it says storm is brewing at the Judicial Service Commission, JSC, after former senior officials, 2 lawyers, and a cross-section of Kenyans demanded resignation of Commissioner Isaac Ruto. We know that Isaac Ruto was contesting in a seat in the last election, and after he lost in that election, the writer of the newspaper says that it seems there was something that is called a political reward, because Isaac Ruto was given a position at the Judicial Service Commission, JSC, as the vice chairman of the Judicial Service Commission. And we know that there are people that are citing that when we have some political leaders who are attending maybe political rallies from in the government, it seems like the judiciary is being sabotaged by politicians. And the writer says that in the letter seen in the Standard, former Commissioner Muchai Njeru accuses Isaac Ruto of attending United Democratic Alliance (UDA) party meeting, including recent National Governing Council gathering, a state house action he terms as unprecedented for JSC commissioner. We know that next week we shall be having interviews. We shall be having interviews, and many of the lawyers that are complaining say that when we have such commissioners that are attending political rallies, the interviews that are yet to be done, I guess, will be manipulated, because they argue that when we have certain political pressure that is pushed towards someone who was appointed through a political reward, we shall have we shall not have a fair interview at the interviews that are yet to come next week. And it says also that our country is currently undergoing a serious reconstruction, not just as a dual carriage roads, affordable housing units, sports complexes, health and education sectors, among other institutions. And we know that recently our country has been facing a lot of things, and also seeing that the judiciary is still facing a major headache and a major problem. It shows that as a country we need to go back to the drawing board and see that all the things that we are doing as a nation, we should focus on each and every institution should be independent, so that when they are executing their mandate to Kenyans, we are having something that there is kukona ule ya kwamba mambo yote yanaenda vizuri katika kila jambo ambalo linafanyika. And it also says that the constitutional lawyer Chaka Shichangi, Kenyan constitution is not a decorative document. So if the judiciary has been given the mandate of oversighting issues on legal issues and upholding the rule of law, the writer here, the lawyer Chaka Sichangi, says that Kenyan constitution should be followed to the letter. That everything that has been written in the Kenyan constitution should be upheld. And he also continued to say that if Ruto sits in the panel, we shall have judges so appointed declared a nullity, that they are going to contest. If Ruto shall sit on that bench that will be conducting that interview, that they will move forward and go to court to stop that the interview, so that interview can be declared null and void. And also at the end of that article there, it says that Isaac Ruto lost the subsequent election, and in surprising move, Ruto was appointed to the critical and sensitive role of Commissioner of the Judicial Service Commission, JSC, in 2021. Fellow commissioners later elected him as the vice chairperson of the powerful body tasked with hiring and disciplining the judges. So it is something that is raising eyebrows, that we need accountability in every sector that we're having in our nation, even in the judiciary. And yesterday in that swearing in, we saw that Kenyans were giving their opinions that as a nation the judiciary should be left independent. Ya kwamba inafaa ikuwe na uhuru wa mahakama. Kila jambo ambalo litakuwa likifanywa katika mahakama, they be independent, so that when they're executing their role and their mandate in upholding the rule of law and interpreting the constitution, we are going to have a smooth running in the judiciary. And there are some of the things that have been highlighted here, some of the things that should be done when removing a JSC commission. And this is one of the headaches that the people that are pushing forward for the removal of Isaac Ruto, they should consider. That is written here. To remove a commissioner from office, then those seeking the removal need to petition the National Assembly, laying out the allegation and ground for removal. So it is not just something of saying that we want Isaac Ruto to be removed from that Judicial Service Commission, but there are some things that the people that are that have been written here that are complaining that the judiciary is being manipulated, they should follow these things that have been written here, that to remove a commissioner from office, then those seeking the removal need to petition the National Assembly, laying out their allegations and grounds for removal. You must have grounds for you to remove a Judiciary Service Commissioner. And also the petition will land at the Public Petition Committee that is currently chaired by Runyenje's MP Muchai. So that process must also go to the Parliament, which is the legislative arm of the government, and also through the direction from the Speaker Wetangula, it might be considered by the Petition Committee, or it can be moved to the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, chaired by Tharaka Nithi MP George Muragura and deputized by Kibwezi West MP Mwengi Mutuse. So these are some of the things that they should consider if they want, if the petition that they are raising about the Judiciary Service Commissioner, Vice Chair Isaac Ruto, for him to be removed. These are some of the guidelines and the steps they should follow. And also at the committee level, it will be considered if the grounds are sufficient. It will be referred to the president, who will appoint a tribunal to investigate it. The decision from the tribunal is binding to the president. So we see this the process of removing a Judicial Service Commissioner is not just a smooth process. So it needs a lot of time, and the interviews that are yet to be done will be done next week. So we see that Angela, some of the things that have been highlighted here, it is something that is really putting our nation into a limelight, that we need to always give each and every arm of the government independence, to work independently, so that we are not going to have any arm of government trying to manipulate the other one. Because if the judiciary is manipulated, and we are yet to go for the 2027 election, we are going to have a major problem as a nation. So some of the things that have been highlighted here, you can continue reading them in the standard page 4. And I think this is something that Kenyans need to have a conversation. That we need to have a conversation over this, because it is something that is raising a lot of concern even to Kenyans. So I don't know, what do you have to say about this?
I just echo what you have said. The judiciary really needs to remain independent as it is, without manipulation, because if it's manipulated, then kutakuwa na that is issues ya mistrust coming, that is 2027 10-year election. And on the Daily Nation, page 1, there is one of the highlight matters to do with politics. I said earlier that you're going to check a little bit of politics with what has been happening that is in our country, and it reads united in impunity, and it's been called a puzzle. Former DP, that is Deputy President, challenges Interior Minister to name persons who ordered police to attack him. So it feels like a blame game, okay? Because the kingpin, Mount Kenya, I don't know if he's still the kingpin, that is Rigathi Gachagua, he's blaming now the Interior Minister. And in addition to that, that's why it's being called united in impunity, and again it's being called a puzzle that is yet to be fixed. It means they don't know who did this, but still kuna wale watu ambao wanashukiwa, alright? And kuna picha ya Douglas Kanja, that is the Inspector General of Police. We have that is Mohammed Amin, Director of DCI. We have that is Mushiri Nyaga, National Police Service spokesman. And then we have Joshua Nkanata, Central Regional Commissioner. And then we have that is Jasper Ombati, Regional Police Commander, alright? And they're asking a cover-up, so it is a question whether it is a cover-up. 4 days after the attack of the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua at church service in NURU, the latest in a string of similar incidents, there has been no report of questioning of suspects or arrest. Security chiefs have also ignored queries about the status of investigation into the bloody violence. And that is the statement from Rigathi Gachagua, and it looks very sad. And then there is a statement from that is the CS Kipchumba Murkomen alisema the regional commissioner and security team must take legal action against those who raided the church and caused chaos to ensure it doesn't happen again. Okay. And the story is on page 4 and 5. Let's check it out a little bit and see. And now I can see kuna picha bado ya that is the democracy of the party citizens party leader, that is Rigathi Gachagua, and the different statements from different people. Even I can see their statement from that is IPO official. Na alisema, let me tip you that we have drafted an update for the public, but it is yet to be approved. By close of this month, we will have issued a public update on this matter, on what is happening. Okay, now this is from the IPOA official. And in addition to that, I had seen a statement from that is from Kanja. Let me check out. All right, I've got it, and this is what he said from now. That is Douglas Kanja. He is not now. Douglas Kanja is addressing now Rigathi Gachagua. He is not telling us who. He's not telling us who ordered serving police officers. armed with official weapons and riding in official patrol vehicles to partner with guns and to partner with guns and executing terror siege against shippers. So I don't know, because it feels like a blame game. So let's see what will happen if they really get a conclusion of people who are involved in this. And kumekuwa na questions mingi zimekuwa raised, and pia the security, I can see there's another statement that security chiefs have ignored repeated queries about the investigations into Sunday violence in which armed men in plain clothes backed by police vehicles were caught on camera firing live ammunitions and tear gas, and while others hurled stones reputing the service at Tutima Anglican Church. Now, this is not a good thing, because it's really a great impact when it comes to that is religion, because kutakuwa na that is religious freedom concern, because you know the whatever happened had as sparkled a wide condemnation from that is church leaders and the Law Society of Kenya. Pinaleta that aspect of political tension, okay, because analysts and religious leaders, one, it depends that is distrust between political actors and religious institution at a sensitive pre-election time. Now it's really hard to know whether a politician is coming to church genuinely, however anakuja because of politics, and pinaleta that is public debate about policing, because the incident has triggered national debate over the police conduct, transparency, political violence in Kenya. So let's see what will really happen, because there is another figure that has been given here, that is 15, the number of police officers paired with about 20 youths who were to attack Gachagua in Nyeri, according to a source that has not been revealed. So let's wait for the official report from IPOA, and then I hope more investigations will be done, so that unajua, even if it's politics, at the end of the day the common mwananchi ndio anaumia, because if they fire ammunition, mwananchi ndio anaumia, kunaweza kuwa na loss of lives, public mistrust and everything. Now that is what has been happening when it comes to the kingpin of Mount Kenya. What do you have there?
In page 5 of the Standard, we're going to see matters that have been written here about the ODM party, and there is a picture that is drawn here of Winnie Odinga during the Iala MP induction meeting at Windsor Hotel in Nairobi, and the writer has stated that Iala MP maintains Oburu Oginga party leader's position is currently illegitimate. We know we have been having matters in the ODM party, and it is something that we can view as supremacy complex, that there is still a problem in the leadership of ODM, and the writer here says that Iala MP Winnie Odinga has warned that the rushed attempt to replace Raila Odinga with his brother Oburu Oginga as ODM party leader bypass established party procedures. Winnie Odinga says that there were procedures that were that needed to be followed before appointing Oburu Odinga to be the chairman or the leader, to be the leader of ODM party. And he says that her remarks have added fuel to the ongoing tension as Oburu works to unite the two ODM factions within the Odinga's family and the wide party. Winnie Odinga also accused some party leaders of acting against ODM ideals and stressed that they need to align to the party with its constitution. We've seen that there are some things that have been happened recently in the ODM party, and we've had two groups ambazo zimekuwa zikizozana kuhusu uongozi wa chama hiki, and we see that there are some members that have taken their sides on these wrangles that are happening in the ODM party, and still Oburu remains the acting ODM party leader unless ratified by the NDC. But Winnie Odinga says that they need to have an NDC for the ODM party for them to now look into the leadership structures and elect their own leader. So he says that that his uncle Oburu Odinga was illegitimately given that office. And now the ODM, Winnie says that the ODM constitution clearly states no member of the Central Committee or NEC can act on behalf of the party unless ratified by the NDC, Winnie said. Okay. You know, when we have something, a party, communication is very key in every party. So Winnie Odinga says that there is need for an NDC meeting to be held for them to now establish their leadership structures according to their constitution. And she further questioned the recent action of the National Executive Council NEC and the Central Management Committee negotiating committee, noting that neither organ can lawfully act on behalf of the party without ratification of an NDC. He also says that if they want to do any decision, they need first to have that NDC for them to finish, wamalize ile mizozo ambayo iko katika chama hiki na wakaweza kuweka mikakati katika uongozi wao, ili katika mkutano huo waweze they establish the leadership of that party. On the proposed political pact between ODM and UDA, Winnie urged her party to put its house in order before entering any coalition. And we see that there have been some things that have been happening in the ODM party. Kumekuwa na ule msukumo kwamba they should have a pact with the UDA, and President Ruto has been seen lately having discussion with some of the party members of the ODM. But Winnie Odinga is here saying that they need first to have the NDC before going to any negotiation even with the government. And we don't know what is the future of the ODM party, but we just hope that everything will go as written here, that party supporters have been left in confusion as both factions hold highly charged rallies. Oburu camp rallies proudly with the Linda ground, which is protect the grassroots call. With these rivals continue demanding that NDC can be convened. So we see that there are two factions that are having issues ya kwamba kila kikundi kinataka uongozi wa chama hiki. And Angela, I don't know, this is the biggest party in Kenya. And when we see some of the things that are happening here, you know, kuna yale mambo ambayo husemekana ni mambo ya nyumba. They need to be discussed in a closed door meeting. So I don't know, what do you think about the ODM party coming out to spill the beans of their own things at the ODM party?
Well, you can say politics is a game. Let's see what will happen, you know. And I guess that is what we had to check out today on what has been happening. You have not read all the stories, you can grab a copy of the Daily Nation and the Standard and check out more stories as well. As we wrap up, you have something to tell the viewers?
I want to just thank you, all the viewers, and you can keep on following us on through all our social media platforms at Mizpah TV Kenya. As we always say, we keep the fire of the altar burning, and you can also send us your feedback on where you are watching us from on our SMS line on 0799 200 100, and you keep watching Mizpah TV.
Okay, and as we wind up, let me mention our sponsor, that is Mizpah Prayer Center. It's a great place for prayer, fasting, and spiritual renewal. Mizpah Prayer Center is located in Bahati, Nakuru, 14 kilometers from Nakuru City, on your way to Nyahururu and Nyeri. It is open to individuals, ministry teams, and different prayer groups from all denominations. For more information, please contact 07 277 66553. Thank you so much for tuning in for this segment. My name is Angela Kabete. Till next time, bye bye.